Together, we rise. June 16th, 2018, echoing June 29, 1968, Stonewall Inn, Greenwich Village. Together, we gather in this place, in the valley, to stand together and affirm the power of love. To remember that it has not always been this way for trans folks, for queer folks, for non-gender conforming folks, because this world has been hostile. That we stand together so that we can rise. Because there were those, as has been mentioned before, who have gone on before us and on whose shoulders we stand. They had no choice but to stand when the presence of police became intolerable and they were moved into a position in which radicalism and social change was the only choice that was there, because, Audre Lorde, they were not meant to survive. We know that hatred cannot drive out love. And we know that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, and only love can do that. Those are the words of Martin Luther King. And so today, we stand against those who would want to make religious doctrine out of separating children from their parents. We stand against those who think that refusing to make a cake to recognize love of two people is somewhat a religious claim. We stand together because we know together we can rise. We also take note that the Stonewall Inn was a place where the quote-unquote undesirables could find a place of solace, a kind of sanctuary, as it were. It was trans women of color. It was sex workers. It was gay men. It was a place where people would come together when everything else was hostile. And it was out of that marginality that this movement now arises. If today is better than the past, it's because there is blood that has soaked this land, so that together we can rise. Woo. We also note that because of the language of law enforcement, folks were compelled to take action, not different from the lives of brown, black people littering the streets of the city in the name of law and order. Meaning that if one of us is harmed, whatever our identity, the other person is at risk. So whether we choose to or not, we are ultimately connected by one long gamut of our destiny. Martin Luther King. And so together we rise. We celebrate where we are going, but we have not forgotten that it was only in the June of 2016 that 43 people were killed and 53 were wounded at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, and here in Walla Walla, we gathered to say no more. So yes, we are better than before, but the work is not done. We also know that it's not very long ago when folks tried to come against trans folk serving in the military. And so we know that the struggle is not over. So yes, we have come a long way, but there is still yet a long way to go. Together, we rise.
Yes.
And so we want to hold, let's use a little bit of Marxism for a moment. We want to hold these positions in dialectical tension. That is to say, on the one hand, acknowledging where we have come from and what has been achieved, and on the other, recognizing the distance we are yet to travel, and neither be naively hopeful or tragically dispirited. Together, we rise. Let me finish, if I may, with the words of the great poet and ballad of the movement. Sister Audre Lorde with the words, a litany for survival. Stay with me. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard. Our words will not be heard nor welcome. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive. Together, we rise.
Walla Walla, we love you. We are here and we're queer too. Walla Walla, we love you. We are here and we're queer too. Queer lives are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When trans lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back.
There's just more people than I ever thought that would be here, and people that I didn't know before, which is, it's really easy to get kind of like locked in your own tiny little small queer community, and that can feel great, having like 5 queer friends, but like to know that there are people out there who you didn't know before, who like you haven't seen at a coffee shop and like made a beautiful little small eye contact with, it's just like, I feel like it's opening a lot of possibilities for us as a queer community in Walla Walla that I didn't know were there, and I think a lot of people who are here today didn't know was there.
I love seeing everyone come out, no pun intended. I love seeing everyone come out and just have fun and like know what we're doing politically here and also really enjoy it. We're coming out here to be queer in public and to show people that we're here and we're not going anywhere. And that also we support, like, this is a collective struggle and we support the struggle of immigrants and Black folks who are incarcerated and killed at disproportionate rates, and people who are oppressed by law enforcement, and people who are incarcerated. This is one struggle. And we are here to support ourselves and our community and our family. This is our family. For some of us, this is the family that we have.